Mrs. Visalachi, working as a social teacher in Trinity Matriculation Higher Secondary School. In this session, we are going to see 7th Standard Term 2, History, Unit 2, the Mughal Empire. Now come to the lesson. A new empire began in India with the arrival of Mughal king Babur. Except for the belief region of Shershah of Shur dynasty, the Mughal rule lasted from AD 1526 to 1707. There were years when the fame of a great Mughal of India spread all over Asia and Europe. After six great Mughal emperors, the emperor began to distinguish Babur, 1526 to 1530, ancestor and his early career. Zarazuddin Muhammad Babur, popularly known as Babur, was founder of Mughal Empire in India. The term Mughal can be traced to Babur's ancestors. Babur was the great grandson of Taimur. On his mother's side, his grandfather was Yanus Khan of Taxken, who was known as the Great Khan of the Mongols, and 13 in the direct line of distance, the Chengiz Khan. Babur was born in 14th February 1483. He was named Zerazuddin, that means the defense of faith. Zarasuddin Muhammad, his name. He inherited the Feroz Khan, a small kingdom in Central Asia, when he was 12 years old. But he was soon driven out from there in the Ubas. After 10 years of advanced, Babur established himself as the ruler of Kabul. Foundation of the Mughal Empire. In Kabul, Babur was set his sight eastward, reminded by the memory of Taimur's India invention. In 1505, the very year after his took Kabul, Babur led his first expedition towards India. Yet he was proceeds with the center of Asia affairs. He did not have any ambition. Broadly, Punjab till 1524. The great opportunity came knocked Diwani Khan, who was Daulat Khan Lodi's son, and Alam Khan, who was the uncle of Sultan of Delhi, arrived in Kabul to seek Babur's help in removing the Ibrahim Lodi from power. Babur defeated Ibrahim Lodi in the famous Battle of Panipat in the year is 1526 and occupied Delhi and Agra following Babur's victory in this battle. Mughal dynasty came to be established in this Agra as its capital. Babur's military conquest. Babur defeated Rana Sanga and his allies at Kawan in 1527. He won the war against the chief of Chandahi in 1528 and Pervel over the Afghan chief of Bengal and Bihar in 1529. Babur died in 1530 before he could conquer his victories. Babur was the scholar in Turkish and Persian language. He recorded his impressions about Hindustan, its animal, plant and trees, flowers and fruits in his autobiography Tuki Babur. Following the tradition set by Genghis Khan, who nominated the most deserving among his sons as his heir. Babur chose his favorite and eldest son Humayun as his heir. Now, Humayun, the period is 1530 to 1540 and 1555 to 1556. Humayun, on his ancestors on in the throne, divided his inheritance as per his father's will, and accordingly his brothers Kamran, Hindal, and Askari got the provisions each. Yet each of the brothers aspired for the throne of Delhi. Humayun also had other rivals, and notable among them was the Afghan Sher Shah, the ruler of Babur and Bengal. Sher Shah defeated Humayun, Chauri, and again the Kanjal, the Humayun defeated and overthrown had to flee to Iran. With the help of the Persian ruler Sher Tahamsik of the Safavid dynasty, Humayun succeeded in recapturing Delhi in 1555. But he died in 1556 when he fell down the stair of a library in Delhi. Sher Shah Shu, the period is 1540 to 1545. Sher Shah was the son of Afghan noble Hans Shur, ruler of Sasaram in Bihar. After overthrowing Humayun, Sher Shah started the rule of Shur dynasty at Agra. During his belief region, he built an empire stretching from Bengal to the Indus. Excluding Kashmir, he also introducing an efficient land revenue system. He built many roads and standardized coins, weights, and measures. Akbar, the period of Akbar is 1556 to 1605. Accession to throne. After the death of Humayun in 1556, his 14-year-old son Akbar was crowned the king. Humayun's trust General Bahiram Khan became the regent and ruled on the behalf of Akbar, as the latter was a minor. Hemu, a general of Sher Shah Shur dynasty, soon captured Agra and Delhi in 1556. In the same year, Bahiram Khan defeated and killed Hemu in the Battle of Panipat, that is Second Panipat War, as Bahiram Khan was murdered in Gujarat, allegedly at the instance of Akbar, who could not tolerate his dominance in day to day governance of the kingdom. Akbar assumed full control to the government. Akbar brought most of the Indian under his control through conquest and alliance. This is the map of Mughal empires under the Akbar's period. Of women rulers. Akbar conquered Malwa and part of the central India. His defeat of Rana Durgavi, a ruler in the central province, is not appreciated since the brave Rani did him not harm, yet urgent by his ambition to build an empire. Akbar had no consideration for the good nation of the ruler. Similar, another woman ruler Akbar had to confront in South India was the famous Rani Chanda Bai, regent of Ahmednagar. The fight these women put up impressed the Mughal army so much that they gave her favorable term to peace. Battle of Haldighati. Akbar defeated Rana Uday Singh of Malwa and captured the fort of Chittoor in 1568 and then Rani Tamba in 1569. In 1576, he won over Uday Singh's son Rana Pratap at the Battle of Haligari. Though defeated, Rana Pratap except on his horse, chariot, and continued his fight, leading a life in the jungle. The memory of this gallant Rajput is treasured in Rajputana, and many a legal has grown around him. Commercial access to Arabia, Southeast Asia, and China. Akbar's conquest of Gujarat helped him to establish control over Gujarat overseas trade with the Arabs and the Europeans. Akbar's military campaign in East Bihar and Odisha and victory over Bengal facilitated access to Southeast Asia and China. Military campaign in the Northwest 1858 to 1605. Among other conquests of Akbar, the important were the campaign by launched in northwest of India. Akbar added Kandahar, Kashmir, and Kabul to the Mughal Empire. His battle in the Deccan led to the annexations of Bihar, Kandahar, and part of Ahmednagar. Under Akbar, the Mughal Empire extended from Kashmir in the north to Godavari in the south, and from Kandahar in the west to the Bengal in the east. Akbar died in the year 1605 and his is a mortal remain were buried in the Sekandar next Agra. Akbar's religious policy. Akbar realized that the gain of affection would be more enduring than the gains of the sword. Made all over effects, allowed effects to win the goodwill of the Hindu notable and the Hindu masses. He abolished the tax name is Jizya tax on non-Muslims and tax on Hindu pilgrimages. He also married a girl of a noble Rajput family. Later he married off his son to the Rajput girl as well. He appointed Rajput nobles to important and top position in the empire. Raja Man Singh of Jaipur was sent a governor of Kabul once. Akbar treated all the religious groups fairly with generosity of spirit. The Sefer Shan Salim is chariots and Sikh Guru Ramad received Akbar's utmost respect and regard. Guru Ramdas was gifted a plot of land in Amritsar, where the Sikh sign Hemorrhoid Sahib was later built in Ibrahim Khan, a hall in the new Ferozpur Sikh city. Constructed by Akbar, scholars of all religions met for the discourage contribution to culture. Akbar was the great patron of learning. His personal library had more than 4,000 manuscripts. He patronized scholars of all belief and all shades of opinions. He extended his benevolence to authority, the authors such as Abul Fazl and Abul Rahib Khan, Haik, the great storyteller in Birbal, and competent official like Raja Todarmal, Raja Bahadur Das, and Raja Man Singh. The great composer and musicians, dancing and arts is Daswant advanted Akbar's court as well as. Now Jahangir. Akbar was succeeded by Prince Salim. His son thought a Rajput wife, who was also named Neruddin Muhammad Jahangir. Jahangir was more interested in art and painting and gardening and flowers than in running the government. So Jahangir's wife, Meherunisa, known as Noor Jahan, was the real power believed the throne Jahangir carried on to some extent his father's territories. The tolerance of religious of Akbar's time continued in Jahangir's time. But Jahangir ordered the execution of Sikh leader Guru Arjun for helping his rebellious son Kushru, who conquered for the throne. This resulted in the prolonged fight between the Sikhs and the Mughals. As a result of this confederation, the Mughals had to lose control over the trade routes of Afghanistan, Persia, and Central Asia. The loss of Kandahar exported India to inventions from northwest Ahmednagar through conquered by Jahangir remained a source of trouble throughout his region. Jahangir granted trading rights to the Portuguese and later to the English. Thomas Roe, a representative of King John I of England, visited Jahangir's court, and this agreement paved the way for the British establishing the first factory in Surat. Shah Jahan, Prince Khusro, after the struggle for power, succeeded Jahangir as Shah Jahan. Shah Jahan ruled for 30 years. He led a campaign against Ahmednagar and annexed it in 1632. Bijapur and Golconda were also conquered later. Some Maratha warriors, notable Shivaji Bhonsle, extended the service for the Deccan kingdoms and trained band of Maratha soldiers to fight against the Mughals. So there was a suspended resistance in the Deccan to the Mughals from the Marathas too. Shah Jahan was intolerant towards other religions than Islam. In his region came to the climax of Mughal splendor, which is detailed in the next part of this lesson. Shah Jahan fell ill in 1657, and a war of succession broke out among his four sons. Aurangzeb emerged successful after killing his three brothers, Dara, Suja, and Murad. Shah Jahan passed the last 8 years of his life as a prisoner in the Shah Burj of the Agra fort. Aurangzeb, the period is 1658 to 1707. Aurangzeb, the last of the great Mughal, started off his reign by impressing his old father. He assumed the title Almad. He resigned for 48 years. He was no lover of art like his grandfather, Jahangir, and architecture like his father, Shah Jahan. He tolerates no religious expediting except Islam. He reimposed the jizya tax on Hindus and excluded them from the office as far as possible. Between 1658 and 1681, Aurangzeb remained in the north and suppressed the revolt of Bandals, Jats, Satmast, and Sikhs. Aurangzeb's expansion in the northeast resulted in a war with the Ahams of Kambadpur, that is in Assam. The kingdom came under repeated attacks of the Mughals, but it could not subsist totally. This is the map of Aurangzeb's empire. Now, relationship with Rajputs and Marathas. Aurangzeb's hostility towards Rajputs lead to prolonged wars with them. To make matters worse, his rebellious son, Prince Akbar, joined the force of Rajput and created troubles to him. Prince Akbar entered into the pact with Shivaji's son, Samurai, in the Deccan. So Aurangzeb had to march to the Deccan in 1689. In the Deccan, Aurangzeb brought Bijapur and Golconda into submission. Shivaji had covered over the kingdom, proclaimed himself the emperor of Maratha state in the year 1674. Aurangzeb could not stop the rise of Shivaji in the southwest, but he vanquished Shivaji's son and successor Sambhavi, who was captured and executed by him. Aurangzeb remained in the Deccan until his death in 1707 at the age of nearly 90. By the end of Aurangzeb's rule, the British had firmly established the trade center at Madras, Calcutta, and Bombay. The French had the main trade center in Pondicherry. The Mughal administration, the central administration is the Mughal provide a stable administration in a larger part of India. The emperor was the supreme head of the Mughal administration system. He was a lawmaker, the chief executive, the commander in chief of the army, and the final disciplines of justice. He was assisted by the Council of Ministers. The most important officials were the Prime Minister, and in the warrior or Diwan, Mir Bakins was the charge of the army. The Mir Saman looked after the royal household. The Khusru was the chief judge. Sadarun Sudha was the minister for enforcing Islamic law. The provincial administration is the emperor was divided into several sabas. Each sabha was under the control of officer called sabardar. The sabas were further divided into districts called sharkas. The sharkas were subdivided into bargana. A group of village formed a pargana. Local administration. The towns and cities were administered by katwals. Katwals maintained law and order. The administration of villages was left in the hands of local village panchayat. The panchayat dispensed in justice. Army. The Mughal army composed infantry, cavalry, war elephants, and artillery. The emperor maintained a large number of trained and well armed bodyguards and place guards. Mansabdari system. Akbar introduced the Mansabdari system. According to this system, the nobles, civil, and the military officers were combined to form one single service. Everyone in the service was given a mansab, meaning the pension or rank. Mansabdar was the holder of such a rank. Mansabdar rank was dependent on the Zet and Zawar. The former indicated one's status. Zawar was the number of the horses and horsemen he had to maintain. His salary was fixed on the basis of the number of soldiers each Mansabdar received, ranking from 10 to 10,000. The Mansabdars were paid huge salary by the emperor. Before receiving the salary, a Mansabdar had to present his horseman for inspection. Their horses were banded to prevent theft. The emperor could use the troops maintained by the Mansabdar whenever he wished. The rank of Mansabdar was not hereditary during Akbar's time. After him, it became hereditary. Land revenue administration. Land revenue administration was turned up during the reign of Akbar. Raja Todarmal, revenue minister of Akbar, adopted the reformed the system introduced by Sher Shah. Today, the Todarmal Zazid system was put in the place in the north and northwest provinces. According to this system, after a survey, lands were classified according to the nature and facilitate of the soil. The Shersha and the state was fixed at one third of the average produced for 10 years during the region of Shah Jahan. A Zenith system was extended to the Deccan province. The Mughal emperors enforced the old ethic system renamed Jagar. It is the land termed system developed during the period of Delhi Sultan. Under the system, the collection of the revenue of an area and the power of governing it were bestowed upon the military or civil officials now named Jahandar. Every Mansabdar was a Jahardar if he was not paid in cash. The Jahadar collected the revenue through his own officers. The Amal Gazar or revenue collector of the district was assisted by subordinate officers like a porter, the Kangora, the Patwari, and in the Mohaddam. Those appointed to collect the revenue from the landholders were called the zamindars. Zamindars collected taxes and maintained law and order with the help of the Mughal officials and soldiers. The local chieftains and little kings were also called zamindars. But at the end of the 16th century, the zamindars were confirmed hereditary rights over the zamine. The zamindars were empowered to maintain troops for the purpose of collecting revenue. The emperor granted lands to scholars, holy men, and religious institutions. These lands, called Zurmagal, were tax free. Now, religious policy. The Mughal emperors were the followed of Islam. Akbar was very liberal in his religious policy. In Akbar's court, the Portuguese missionaries were a great favors. Akbar turned to include the good principles in all religion and formulated them into one single faith called Deen-i-Ilahi, and Jahangir and Shah Jahan also followed the policy of Akbar. Aurangzeb rejected the liberal view of his productions. As we pointed out the earlier, he reimposed the jizya and pilgrimage tax on the Hindus. His intolerance towards other religions made him unpopular among the people. Art and architecture. Babur introduced the Persian system of architecture to India by building many structures at Agra, Bina, Dolpa, Gwalior, and Kayal, but only a few of them exist today. Humayun's palace in Delhi, Dingi Bana, was probably destroyed by Sher Shah Shur, who built the Purana Koli in its place. The most prominent monument of Sher Shah's region was his museum built at Sasaram in Bihar. The Divan-i-Kayas, Divan-i-Am, Panch Mahal, Ranga Mahal, Salem Charities, Doom, and Baldan. Davanas were built during Akbar's time. Jahangir completed Akbar's Doom at Sikandar and beautiful building constructing the tomb of Itmad Uddin, father of Nur Jahan at Agra. Shah Jahan's time witnessed the climax of Mughal splendor. The famous peacock throne, covered with expensive jewels, was made from the emperor to sit on. Then the rose of the world famous Taj Mahal by the side of the Jana Yamuna River at Agra. Besides Taj, he built the Modi Masood, the Pearl Mosque at Agra, the great Jama Masood of Delhi, and Diwan-i Gayas and Diwan-i-Am in his place in Delhi. During Aurangzeb's reign, architecture did not receive much patronage. The Bobby Khan Moxper in Aurangabad, a museum built by his son Prince Azam Shah as a loving tribute to his mother in the late 16th century, is however worth mention. In this lesson we saw Babur founded the Mughal Empire in 1526 After defeating Ibrahim Lodi in the Battle of Panipat, Humayun's unsettled conditions and Sher Shah's victory over him the Battle of Kanpur, Humayun's relief to the Mughal Empire and his ultimate death leading to the ascension of his son Akbar. There are three Panipat wars. Akbar's military conquest as well as his religious policy are explained, and Shah Jahan extended Mughal rule in the Deccan and